Hey guys, it's Laurelei Lee and we're back for another episode of RWBY. I've been doing that thing again that I mentioned last episode and people seem to really empathize with, which is just like putting off watching something that I really want to watch. I mean, part of it can be blamed on the fact that I was watching RT's Extra Life stream when the episode came out, but like still, I kept putting it off even though I knew I really shouldn't. Because man, some RWBY fans just can't keep quiet when episodes come out. Like, really? If you guys know who Dishwasher is, they're a pretty prominent RWBY fan art creator. They've also helped Rooster Teeth on concept art for Genlock. But I follow them on Twitter, and they posted fan art the new episode, like, not even, like, a few hours after the episode came out, so, like, yeah. So spoiler dodging's been crazy, but for some reason I've still been putting it off, I think because it's, like, I just forget how, like, momentous RWBY feels to me, watching it every weekend, but, I do enjoy watching it and interacting with you guys in the comment section. A lot of crazy theories have been going around since this last episode, like, it was a doozy. We had Cinder's return, the introduction of Little Miss Malachite, and kind of like that area of the criminal underworld of Mistral that we're going to be getting into a bit. And then, you know, Ozpin's secret, him struggling with Oscar, and all those revelations that came after with Jin and Salem, and now we get in some crazy backstory happening, and like, I don't know, a lot of, I mean, revelations like that like really stir the RWBY community, and like this week has been insane with theories and debates and arguments, like a lot of which I'm really cool with. But yeah, it's insane. It's been insane. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it in particular, because I think I voiced everything I had on it. It's just going to be interesting to see where this goes. Like, we had lots of revelations last episode, but we're on the cusp of like so much more with this episode, because like, it's called The Lost Fable. The thumbnail is the human Salem, and it's almost half an hour long, so it's, oof. So I guess I should just stop babbling and talk about it afterwards. Although, also a star of my last reaction. Hey Toulouse! Toulouse! Hi! Say hi! Can you see him? There he is. Hi, buddy. Like, why'd you wake me up? Because the internet loves you, bud. But yeah, so we'll see how crazy this episode is. I really am just babbling. It's also very late. I may or may not be drinking a little, so this should be fun. Anyway, I'll press play. People have mixed feelings on this intro, but I gotta say, I think it's like one of my favorites so far.
Locked away by her cruel father, Salem was a girl who desired but one thing: freedom. She lived in a time when kings and their kingdoms were plentiful, when men and women were capable of greatness, and magic was a gift from the gods that all could wield. And yet there she sat within her tower.
I also love the animation on this.
A legendary hero came to brave the challenges within the tower's walls. The people of the lands knew him as Ozma. Unlike those who had come before, this warrior was not driven by the prize of the young maiden's hand. He fought only for righteousness, and his pure heart and courageous soul prevailed.
Kind of reminds me of Weiss's trailer.
They escaped the wretched fortress, and yet something bound them together. Ozma had been ready to give his life for justice countless times, but now saw a woman worth saving it for.
Fall in love.
And Salem, to her surprise, found her freedom not in the outside world she had yearned for, but in the eyes of the man that had saved her.
They were in love.
So, where should we go now?
Wherever you'd like.
The two fell deeply
Oh,
in
they
love, planned
are
adventures
just
around the world, and lived happily ever after. Or at least, that's what should have been.
I really love the way they do this.
Ozma,
Like, it's
the
appearing.
infallible hero of legend, fell ill. And where all of the beasts and
You see that
blades of the world had fallen
All of the
short,
group are
a
watching.
single sickness prevailed.
Watching it from time to time, but also like.
How could the gods let this happen?
The gods, brothers of light and darkness, creation and destruction. Salem prayed they would see the
I
injustice that
freaking
had
love the
befallen
animation on this.
them
That's all I'm saying.
and make things right.
But
The domain of light was a sacred place. It was here the elder brother dwelled beside his fountain of light.
oh,
and
dude, she
creation.
straight up went to the gods.
It was here where mankind would fall to ruin.
Oh, that's cool. Kind of reminds me of the. Ooh! I was gonna say, it reminds me of the tree in the relic chamber in Haven.
Please bring him back to me.
I understand your pain, but you demand of me that which I cannot make so. Life and death are part of a delicate balance.
So, you won't do it then?
She's gonna upset
To
that
disrupt the cycle of
That's not fair. That's not fair!
Ooh.
let him rest.
No.
She's gonna go to the younger brother.
The god of darkness.
Oh, dude, that's like straight up Salem's realm.
None dared to enter his home, as men knew what monstrosities emerged from his blackened pools of annihilation. And so you must understand the Dark Lord's surprise when he found a lone woman kneeling before him.
It's like the knuckle V all over again. Oh, please stop that.
Salem understood it well. She told him of her loss and professed that she knew only he could answer her prayers, all while careful to make no mention of his elder.
Rise, child.
and let your faith in me be rewarded.
Your voice is familiar.
Where am I? What is this? Where am I?
It's okay. Everything's going to be okay.
Nah.
What have you done?
I have done what I please, brother. You may bask in the powers of creation, but you do not own them.
This.
Oh, dude,
is
did she
not
straight up start a
Do
war?
not lecture me.
Hi, Graham.
I will do what I must to maintain order.
No! No! What did you do? Bring him back!
You dare enter my domain and show such disrespect!
This is insane.
I am abiding
Okay,
by the rules
okay, this
which
is just-
agreed upon.
Rules that I now see
this is just all, like, screwed up.
in your favor. And yet this immortal comes to pray at my feet before your own. So do you arrive to lay your judgment upon me.
I know we have our differences, but I have not come here with the aim to control you. The same, however, cannot be said for her. This woman came to you only after I denied her pleas. Pleas that would have disrupted the balance that you and I created. Together.
Then it seems I owe you an apology.
Oh, dude.
Allow me to correct my mistake.
Oh! Dude! What a traumatic day for her. I mean, she screwed up
Monsters!
on multiple levels,
Give him back to me!
but
Give him back!
oh my.
When you first came to me, I did pity you. But it is clear now that your selfishness and arrogance have led you astray.
This is insane.
What did you do to
I'm
me?
sorry if I'm not saying a whole lot,
I
but I'm
have
just
made you immortal.
Immortal?
shocked.
You cannot die. You cannot be with your beloved.
So long as this world turns,
Oh,
you shall walk its face.
the ultimate punishment.
You must learn the importance of life and death. Only then may you rest.
For some reason, I don't think she learned her lesson.
Salem was a prisoner once again. Her fruitless attempts to reunite with Ozma eventually became nothing more than acts of spite and defiance against the gods.
Oh, wow, that's dark.
But perhaps the gods were not as powerful as they seemed. She had lied to them, turned them against one another. They were fallible. If she were to turn humanity against light and darkness, she could rid herself of their curse. Or at the very least, she could make them suffer. Salem traveled from one kingdom to another, telling tales of how she stole immortality from the gods, welcomed any swordsman to cut her
Oh,
down,
dude.
and demonstrated her powers. With the kings and queens in awe, she pulled them deeper into her scheme. She painted them pictures of a time when they would no longer have to watch their loved ones wither and die, when they could claim the powers of their creators for themselves, and in turn perfect their own design. All they needed to do was destroy their old
Dude,
masters.
this is mental.
The gods had hoped that Salem would learn from her eternal curse. And she did. She learned that the hearts of men are easily swayed.
Who has led you down this path?
What'd you expect?
My own gift to them, used against me.
Dude, did they straight up just destroy everything?
You thought there was no greater punishment we could bestow upon you?
I'll come back. I'll tell the rest of the world of this massacre. Build a new army.
You do not understand. There is no one left.
Yeah.
You are all that remains of humanity.
This planet was a beautiful experiment, but it is merely a remnant of what it once was. We will learn from this failure. I hope that you will learn from yours.
No, you can't leave. You can't leave. Come back.
Still demanding things of your creators.
Oh. The moon broke when the gods left the earth.
Once again, Salem was alone.
This is so rad.
She cursed the gods. She cursed the universe.
That's her whole
She
planet.
cursed everything. Everything but herself. She wandered the face of the planet, awaiting a death that would never come, until fate led her back to the land of darkness. This was it. This had to be it. The Brothers
planet is
Grimm, the
reset.
pools of black that continue to give rise to horrific nightmares. If the Fountain of Life granted her immortality, then surely the pools of Grimm would finally take it away.
Oh no, that's what happened.
She was wrong.
It just changed you.
This force of pure destruction could not destroy a being of infinite life. Instead, it created a being of infinite life with a desire for pure destruction.
Oh! Oh, dude.
And in time, she would find her adversary.
So she did that to herself?
Ozma.
She turned herself into full darkness, so the God of Light had to do something to counter it. And that's how he
We are
created
between
Ozma.
realms. I'm afraid a tragedy has befallen your home at the hands of my brother. We have chosen to depart this world, but in our absence, I would like to offer you the chance to return to it.
I don't understand.
Mankind is no more, yet your world remains, and in time, your kind will grow to walk its face once again. However, without our presence, they will be but a fraction of what they once were. Creation, destruction, choice, and knowledge were the ideals upon which humanity was made.
Oh, this
Now, I leave them behind with the hope
a
that
scepter,
you
a
will learn
sword,
to remake yourselves.
a crown, and a lamp.
If brought together, these four relics will summon my brother and I back to your world, and humanity will be judged.
Oh.
If your kind has learned to live in harmony with one another and set aside their differences,
We're still
then we
working
shall
on
once
that.
again live among you, and humanity will be made whole again. But if your kind is unchanged, if you demand our blessings while still fighting amongst yourselves, then man will be found irredeemable, and your world will be wiped from existence.
Yeah, you might want to hold off.
Until your task is complete, you will reincarnate, but in a manner that ensures you are never alone.
I'm sorry, but that world just isn't as dear to me without her.
Oh, believe me, she's
If
there.
I may, I'd rather return to the afterlife to see Salem.
You will not find her there.
You mean she isn't gone?
Salem lives, but the woman you hold dear in your memories is gone. Heed this warning. Where you seek comfort, you will only find pain. So, will you...
I'll do it.
Very well. Our creation rests within your hands.
And so, Ozma was reborn.
Where am I? Thank you. Please, tell me your name. Who are you?
He didn't know.
Oh, Oscar.
Ozma had found himself in a world completely unfamiliar to him. Cities looked different. Creatures known as the Faunus bore fangs and claws and were locked away in cages. And without the blessing of the gods, no one could perform magic like mankind was once capable of. No one but himself and a woman known as the Witch. During his years of travel, he heard the same frightened whispers that spoke of a terrifying sorceress who commanded dark powers in the wilds among the beasts and monsters. Ozma was convinced that this witch was Salem, and decided he needed to see what she had become.
I'm really sorry if I'm not talking a lot. This is just a massive info dump.
Call it magic or call it something stronger. But in that moment, the two knew exactly who it was that stood before them.
What do we do now?
Whatever we like.
As Salem and Ozma recounted the events which had brought them back together, each withheld parts of their story. Salem, fearing Ozma would reject her, blamed the end of the world on the gods. Ozma, still unsure of where the truth lay, kept his task and the relics a secret. Though time passed and all seemed well, Ozma's conversation with the god of light still lingered in his mind. He had found happiness, but humanity seemed more divided than ever before.
Are you surprised? This world is quite literally godless. These humans have no one to guide them. Perhaps that's all they need.
What are you saying?
We could become the gods of this world. Our powers surpass all others. Our souls transcend death. We can mold these lands into whatever we want. What you want. Create the paradise that the old gods could not.
Yep, there's that
The
divide.
hearts of men are easily swayed.
Yikes. Oh, yikes.
The two amassed a following. That following grew into a prosperous kingdom. And at the head of that kingdom blossomed a family.
Oh, dude, they're straight up their kids. Weren't they?
Are we sure this is right?
You said we needed to bring humanity together. In order to do that, we have to spread our word and destroy those who will deny it.
Yeah, you're so you can
What are we
discontinue
doing?
Discord.
This isn't what he asked of me.
What did you say?
Mother! Father! Look!
It was a miracle. Their children could perform magic. But what should have been a joyous occasion was short-lived. Ozma told Salem everything. The true reason the God of Light had brought him back.
Oh,
The
this is not gonna
relics
go
that
over
lay
well.
scattered around the world. And the day of judgment he had been told to prepare for.
Don't you see? None of that matters anymore. Why spend our lives trying to redeem these humans when we can replace them with what they could never be?
Mommy?
Oh no. The kids.
We finally have freedom.
Thus began a long and painful cycle of death and rebirth for Ozma. Some lives were spent in mourning. Many were spent attempting to forget it all. But no matter what, his mind would eventually turn back to the task he had been burdened with. And as the centuries went on, Ozma began to learn the importance of living with the souls with which he had been paired. But no matter where or how he lived, her presence was always felt. If humanity were ever to stand a chance of being united, one thing was clear.
He had to destroy Salem.
Knowing he could never rid the world of her through any mortal means, Ozma sought out the power of the relics. Armed with my knowledge, he believed he could fulfill his promise to the God of Light.
Where are the other relics?
He asked me his questions,
What powers do they possess?
and though I gave him my answers,
How do I destroy Salem?
not all of them were to his liking. You can't.
Yeah. She's still cursed. Let's see the voices. Okay. Man, I feel like I need to go back and I need to watch all the World of Remnants because Oh, we are getting into like some deep lore here, and oh, I feel like I need to go back and look at some stuff to try and piece some things together, but dang. That, like, it started out how I expected. Did not continue down that path in the slightest. I'm sorry, like, the last few revelations there kind of like got me a little tongue-tied. So Salem basically, her love for Oz became like, as the catalyst for a war both between and against the gods. Oh, man, things make so much more sense now. Oh my gosh. Salem's intro from the very, very first episode of RWBY. Mankind was strong, wise, and resourceful. They were born into an unforgiving world. Remnants, byproducts of a forgotten age. He used the tool of dust to light their way through the darkness. Oh my... Sorry, my mind's just getting blown a little here. Literally a forgotten age, like an entire history of mankind that had magic, that lived with the gods, blessed by the gods. What Salem did caused that entire existence to be wiped out. So she's been there since this round of humanity basically has started from the beginning. Dust is basically the remnants of magic that were left over from the previous era. Also, can we talk about the fact that she turned herself into what she is? Like, she was already, like, I won't say she was a terrible person at first. She was just desperate. But then that desperation turned into anger. I'm about to go on a Star Wars thing. Anger leads to hate, hate leads to the dark side. Oh. But her desperation turned into like a festering hatred. And that's what caused her to be cursed by the gods. Plural, they both cursed her. And but like that anger like really did not turn her into a great person. Yeah, like she was not a good person. But the fact that she ultimately changed herself because she thought that the darkness would cancel out the curse of the light, she was very wrong. She was very wrong. Instead, it just changed her into like the ultimate being of darkness. And I love the way they put it, that she was like a being of eternal light, but with a heart of ultimate destruction. Phrased differently, I know, I'm just paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly, but man, it sucks for Ozpin though, because he did not, I mean, he was given a choice, yeah. I just don't think he really understood like all of the implications of that choice at the time it was posed to him. It's like he could live on in death, or, you know, come back and eternally exist in a cycle of endless pain in order to fight against the woman you once loved, who has now become that. I also really love all, like, the fairy tale elements that they wove into everything. Like the girl in the tower story, him fighting, like, the monster that guards her to rescue her, they fall in love. Like, all very like classic fairy tale, and as a fairy tale buff I really appreciate it, but like other elements as they weaved in, along with the light and the darkness, the witch in the woods, the young hero who fought for justice. It's just a lot of tropes woven into the fabric of RWBY, and I think RWBY does that better than a lot of similar premises that it just doesn't go off as well sometimes, you know, trying to weave in fable and story elements, but RWBY does it really, really well. I just did not expect them to find each other again. And like that kind of hit me kind of hard. Like I did not anticipate that for a time Salem kind of swayed Ozpin to her side. That they became like a form of deity in the world, almost. Or that they had kids. That was horrific. And like the there are so many implications about that. I'll talk about it. The fact that they like, I mean, they made it seem like they were working together for a while, but really Ozpin was just being swayed by Salem because, like, as they put before, he's like, in his heart of hearts, he's a good person. He fights for what's right in the end, and he's still tasked by the God of Light to be pretty much a beacon of light for humanity, so that when the god should return, they return to a humanity that is successful, that lives in peace and harmony and equal with each other. Still not quite there yet. They're working on it. Human-faunus relations are still a little messed up. Kingdom relations also. Maybe not the best time for the gods to return. But oh no, that just kind of hit me hard. The kids. Because one, I did not anticipate that in the slightest. I think that was the like biggest plot twist for me, was that they had kids together, that they had a family. I mean, it's hard to tell how much of actual heart Salem put into it. I mean, I'm sure Ozpin definitely loved his kids. But dude, when they finally realized what each of them truly were in their fight, they killed their kids. And the four girls, I mean, Salem pretty much did it without remorse. I mean, it could be wrong, but like, as Ozpin was crawling away, she seemed pretty dang confident in herself. So that's, yeah. But the color schemes of the four girls, the fact that they are four girls who could do magic, it just gives Ozpin's story of the 4 seasons a little bit more like, oh my gosh. Because Jin said that he lived many lives just trying to forget it all, just trying to get away from the world. Like, you can see he was an alcoholic in some of them, or just trying to run away from everything. And that ties in really well with the story of the seasons of the old man, who we already knew. Yeah, he's the old man, but like, just all of the implications behind that now, that the 4 sisters that came to him and kind of woke him out of his misery reminded him of his daughters. And that's why he gave them magic. Because he was thinking of them. Oof. Yeah, I did not expect that. I also feel I'm still confused on like all of the logistics behind Ozpin merging with different souls, because like in the little flashes of his other lives that we saw, I mean, some of it seemed like it was still like two separate consciousnesses for a while. I don't know. I'm still confused on that. I still feel real bad for Oscar though. Like, I feel like I have a better understanding of the situation now, but I can't put it into words. I know that doesn't make sense, but like, I don't know. I was very confused. And I do feel sympathetic for Ozpin, but I also feel like he has definitely been an idiot up to this point. I really anticipated Jin's answer before she even gave it, that there was no way to defeat Salem, because like, I mean, the gods very specifically worded it. Like, Salem cannot die until she herself realizes the important implications of life and death. When she finally basically has remorse, and like, maybe the likelihood of that happening would have been greater before she turned herself into the ultimate grim monster, but she obviously does not have that. I mean, she killed her own daughters. And it just makes me really concerned about where this show's going in the long run, because how can you defeat someone who can only be ended with their own remorse when they like physically cannot have any? It's scary. Real scary. And yeah. Like, I definitely, like I said, I have more sympathy for Ozpin now. Like, he has had like the worst existence of anybody, but nothing's gonna get better if he doesn't open up. It's basically what had happened previously when he and Salem were living together. He kind of distanced himself from humanity, from his goal, which is to help humanity itself to be a bigger part of humanity. And in distancing himself from that, you know, he makes mistakes and things go bad. And I think that's what's been happening here, is that he's not trusting the people around him. And like, I get that. I get it. As I put it in the last video, millennia of insecurity, of not knowing whether or not to trust people. But like, it's literally his job. And humanity, aka Team RWBY and the people around him, aren't gonna have guidance if he doesn't give it to them. And sometimes that just includes the truth. And even though Ozpin seemed real against this, I still don't know if he was like actually going to attack RWBY when that happened, or what he was going to do. But I think this is going to be a good thing in the long run, that they can understand each other. Finally, like, fully understand the gravity of what's happening. Oh, I just really wish we had gotten their reactions to it in this episode, but that was a long story, and I know they couldn't have gotten any longer, but that makes me want the next episode so badly. Dang, we're only 3 episodes into the season, and it's already this crazy. I don't know what to do. But I'm really excited to be going on this journey with you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think. Talking with you guys in the comments is my favorite part of putting these reactions up every week, so feel free to engage, and I will try to reply. All links and stuff are in the description. Patreon to help me make these videos. PO Box if you want to send me anything. Discord if you want to talk more about things in more depth. We've had a really active RWBY spoilers channel going on these last couple weeks. But yeah. And all other social media and stuff is down there too. So thank you guys for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video.